The ex-Hakuho, rather quieter without the belt, has given his first full-length interview in months to Anan News. Parts of it you've likely heard before, so let's cover what you likely haven't heard. The main change since I've retired, Coach Magaki begins, is that I get by without giving much thought to the next day. While still active, I was always thinking about the next day's training, which of course started very early. If you ask what youngsters should do to be like me, I'll say don't be deceived. Looking at the photos of my 62-kilo frame when I first turned pro, I'd say anyone has a chance of turning out like me. But that requires doing what you have to do and sticking to it every single day. Training properly, sleeping properly, and eating properly. And you'd be surprised how many guys can't do that. Furthermore, has any other wrestler fasted for several days like I did to rest his internal organs? As for my happiest sumo memories, well, taking that gold star off Asashoryu was one, the 63-win streak another, and then there's the 15-0 in my final tournament. Quite a few. In general, I'd say everything was really fun until Sekiwake. I couldn't wait for tournaments to start. But after Ozeki, when you're really expected to win, the fun disappeared, and I realized, if you're a real pro, you can't be having fun. Not at all. Overall, I view my approach through the words of Chiharu Matsuyama in his song Ordinary. Neither happy enough for words, nor unhappy enough for tears. As for other music I like, well, when being driven to tournaments, I'd listen to Mongolian heavy metal band The Who, because their rhythm is awesome, and they sound like Buddhist priests chanting sutras. In the mornings, I watch the AI reconstructions of the late Hibari Misora, as they really get me going. And Mishia is also good. Had I never entered sumo, given that my father was a champion wrestler and my mother a doctor, it would have been great, I suppose, to pursue Olympic wrestling glory while working as a doctor. Whatever the case, I always wanted to do or be something for others. And the Hakuho Cup is part of that. It started as a project for Japanese and Mongolian kids only, then expanded to 14 countries just before the pandemic. This year will be the 12th, and it's now been going long enough that kids with Hakuho Cup honors have actually entered Pro Sumo, and one of them has even beaten me. Certainly, when I hear of kids saying, "I want to compete in the Hakuho Cup," it increasingly brings home the tournament's meaning. And it's great how people react to a small kid throwing a bigger one. As a professional coach, I want to train up wrestlers for kids to look up to. Well, I say train up, but they'll learn most things by themselves. The dohyo has its way of teaching them. The way of sumo, of course, is something you find by yourself. All I can do is spur my students on at key points.